Children's Defense Fund works to build community so young people grow up with dignity, hope, and joy. Following the lead of our illustrious founder, Mayor Ray Edelman, really seeking to do that work through direct service, through policy change, and through community organizing to build power in communities. One of the things that brings all of those pieces together is our CDF Freedom Schools that we run every summer in 30 states throughout the country. I think about this because each summer I spend time going from Freedom School to listen to scholars, to spend time with parents and caregivers, and to spend time asking those college students who run those classrooms what their lives are like. So I can best talk about it from that perspective. In Columbia, South Carolina, I went to Francis Burns United Methodist Church, where they've been running a Freedom School there with young people for 12 years. And this year, for the first time, because of shifts in administrative priorities and executive priorities, they couldn't use the summer feeding program for the young people in that Freedom School. And because of that, because they recognized that this was the 2 meals a day that these young people needed, this program is totally free. Young people don't have to be eligible, but we find that the majority of our young people are. That church has to make sure that they get 2 square meals a day. Well, this year...
But these are young people, children ages...
These are kindergarten through 12th grade children. And at Francis Burns, they're kindergarten through 6th grade, very specifically. So they're used to getting 2 square meals a day, the ones they would have gotten at school. But now they get them at the church, except this summer, they weren't available.
So this is summertime, Dr. Wilson, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I know raising my children, I just relied on those 2 meals a day.
Yeah.
Because you just couldn't afford it.
That's exactly right. And you know,
you eat them 3 meals a day.
Yeah, you start getting to know what your kids look like during the summer by the light of the refrigerator. Ask me how I know it. I'm 3 teenage boys. But because they couldn't figure it out, because they're eligible, the elder women of the church, there's one by the name of Mrs. Sprinkle, Mrs. Sprinkle, the elder of the church, had to organize the women of the church to figure out how they were going to feed these kids. They had to go to the South Carolina conference of the United Methodist Church to get extra support to make sure that could happen, because what they could not do is send those children home hungry. And that is the reality that faced them at the beginning of this summer, and I visited them before H.R. 1 passed. So I say this to say to people that young people are very basically hungry, and that is a day-to-day reality. But in as much as we even talk about economic security, some of us recall that social mobility and economic mobility was part of what was tied up in the concept of the American dream. Some of us were raised to say, if you work hard, defer gratification, get an education, you can do better than your parents. And that is not only not true for the children at Francis Burns United Methodist Church Freedom School this summer, it's not true for the college students who are servant leaders in Allentown, Pennsylvania. But when we sat down with them and asked them how their lives were going, they were on a time clock because they were going while they were in school from community college to some of the most elite schools in Pennsylvania. They were leaving their Freedom School job to go do another job to be able to put up enough money for the semester that they had coming. So young adults are struggling as they are educating themselves because they realize that the data is true. If they want to do better, yes, zero mobility, as you talk about, Dr. Thompson says, but it hits everybody. So I say this with my final thing. In my household, we worked hard to make sure that our children, my sons, at least have a standard that they got to go to college and they got to go to grad school by virtue of our example. So they took 2 parents, solidly middle class, who have terminal degrees. One of the most significant indicators of the well-being of the child is the level of education of the mother. So I married a doctor.